Hello everyone, my name is Benita Onimichi. I am a Gela Pgmp mentee for the cohort 12, and I'm here to share the things I've learned so far in this program. So in week 1, I was taught about sustainable development goals, where I learned that there are 17 sustainable development goals which are interrelated. So one could be passionate about more than one of the sustainable development goals. I also got to know that the sustainable development goals are goals that were set by the United Nations when they met at their conference in Rio de Janeiro in 2012. These goals were set by 193 countries to be achieved by the year 2030. And I also got to know that there are 169 targets and 230 indicators for the sustainable development goals. I also got to know about the 5 P's of the sustainable development goals, which include people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. Those are the 5 P's of the sustainable development goals. So a sustainable development goals could be any of these, could fall into any of these categories. In week 2, I learned about the global citizenship, and I learned that a global citizen is one who is aware of the wider world, not just the place that he or she is at a particular time. So I learned that as a global citizen, I could make a global change wherever I am at any point in time. So I don't need to travel around the world to be a global citizen. In week 4, I was taught about leadership. I got to know that a leader is one who motivates and inspires others towards a common goal, to achieve a common goal, or to do something. And I learned about the key traits of a leader, which include empathy, being a good listener, have good communication skills, have integrity. Those are some common keys of a leader. Then I also learned about leadership in various aspects, in education, in sport, in the workplace, and the rest of them. In week 5, I learned about youth advocacy as a tool for change. I learned that a youth advocate is a person or a group of people who come together to create an economic, social, or political change. Then I learned about the 3 major duties of advocates, which are to create awareness, to collaborate, and to respect people's rights. I also learned about the 7 steps of effective advocacy, but I won't talk about that in this video. In week 6, I learned about coaching skills for leaders. So I also learned that there's a big difference between a mentor and a coach. So while a coach is just a short-term leader who is there to help to see that you succeed in a particular aspect of your life, a mentor could be a long-term leader who helps you also towards achieving a major goal. In week 7, I learned about self-leadership. Under self-leadership, I learned about the different aspects of self-leadership, but the 3 major ones that resonated with me was self-confidence, self-motivation, and self-resistance. I also learned about self-awareness. In week 7, I learned about self-leadership. Under self-leadership, I learned about the various aspects of self-leadership, which includes self-awareness, to know yourself, self-confidence, the ability to motivate yourself, self-resistance, the ability to hold back yourself from doing the things you're not supposed to do, and that includes self-discipline. Then I also learned about self-confidence. Then in week 8, I learned about critical thinking. Then I learned about the various aspects of critical thinking, which include analysis, communication, creativity, open-mindedness, and problem-solving skills. Those are the basic aspects of critical thinking. In week 9, I learned about delegation and conflict management. I learned that delegation is the act of assigning someone else a task or a work that you are supposed to do by yourself. And delegation, I also learned that delegation is an important aspect of leadership, because it helps you to develop your team members, and it saves you the stress of doing a lot of work by yourself as a leader. So delegation is important. I also learned about the steps involved in delegation, the 6 steps of delegation. In week 10, I learned about emotional intelligence and workplace ethics. I learned that emotional intelligence is the process of controlling or managing your emotions in order to achieve a common goal. Meanwhile, workplace ethics are rules or principles, moral principles that guide our behavior in the workplace to tell us what is right or what is wrong. And there are five major components of emotional intelligence. These 5 major aspects can simply be called S raised power 3 ME. These include self-awareness, self-regulation, social skills, motivation, and empathy. Meanwhile, some components of workplace ethics include respect, empathy, integrity, good communication skills, and fairness. In week 11, I learned about building high performance skills, and I learned the various steps of building high performance skills. First of all, you select your team members. You want to have a good team. After selecting the team members, you select a leader who is going to lead the team members. After selecting a leader, you start working on your goals. You build an ecosystem, measure your progress so far, and then you can sustain what you've been doing. There have to be sustainability for you to get a high performance. These are the things I have been able to get from my 11 weeks in the Gela prestigious Global Mentorship Program. Thank you.